Hello, everyone. This is Assistant Superintendent Julie Luby, and I'm excited to be talking with you. I hope you're having a wonderful summer. First, I want to say to you that Dr. Pat sends her best to everyone. I'm not sure if you would have heard or not, but she did lose her mom last week. We're also sorry about that. And she did ask me to thank those of you that have reached out to her. She'll be back in the office next week and has been guiding us all along. We know there are still 2 weeks until school starts, but we wanted to get some information to you now, and we'll continue to update it as the opening gets closer. Our continuity plan team will meet again to renew the continuity plan, review it and renew it on Monday. The current draft is on our website, and if we make any changes to it, we'll change it there on the website as well. First of all, we're looking at an overall mitigation strategy. And we are looking for as many ways as we can to ensure safety so that we can be open fully. First, as you probably recall from the letter that we sent home, masks will be required for all people in a school building, students and staff alike, per order of the governor. Additionally, we really do strongly encourage vaccination. The rest of the topics that I'm going to talk about are ones that I've been receiving as questions in no particular order. First, as far as cohorting goes, generally speaking, we're not cohorting. However, in the K-5 schools, the children are mostly together in one classroom. Consolidated school will be eating lunch in classrooms. In the middle school, the team is really a cohort as it's been. And yes, we will be moving between classes at the middle school and the high school. And yes, we'll be using lockers. We will continue contact tracing. And to support that, we would ask that if your child is vaccinated, that you please submit their vaccination record to your school nurse. By doing that, it will speed up our contact tracing, and I'll explain. We have rules for quarantine that I'm going to share with you. And the piece that I want to remind everyone is that we are not medical experts. We do work closely with our school nurses, Lori Cipriani, our head school nurse, and our COVID coordinator, as well as Tim Simpkins, our health director, to make the best decisions that we can. But essentially, we are following the guidance and the expectations from the governor. We're the educators, they're the ones making the rules. So as for quarantining, people who are vaccinated do not need to quarantine, but it is suggested that you get tested if you're exposed to someone with COVID-19. If you're not vaccinated, you will need to quarantine if you are within 6 feet for 15 minutes. If you are required to quarantine, it will be for 10 days or can be shortened to 7 days with a negative test. The school nurses will elaborate on the specific number of days and when the test needs to be done, but that should give you a general sense for it. Anyone beyond 6 feet does not need to quarantine as long as they were wearing a mask, which of course in our schools indoors they will be. If a student is quarantined, that will be an excused absence. And our plan to support students on quarantine is, I'd ask you to think about the approach that we take when someone's going to be out of school for a few days, whether for family travel or whether for the typical illness or a flu, and you call the school and say, Susie's going to be out next week for a few days, and the teacher provides some work. Our teachers will be able to put work into Google Classroom or into Seesaw at the lower grades for students to access at home. If kids need books and things, we'll gather them and parents are welcome to pick those up. We are hiring an engagement coordinator whose role it will be to support students who are in quarantine. They'll be completing that asynchronous work, and information to contact the engagement coordinator will be on our website. Basically, that person's role will be to assist in making sure that the work is available for students, tracking it down if for some reason it's not, and then checking on students and making sure they're successful and trying to support their learning where they need some help. Finally, students will be masked on buses, and we are asking you to please put your children on the buses because of construction. It will be tighter on our campuses. There'll be less parking. There'll be less room for maneuvering. And we are asking you pretty please put them on the buses. The high school will be sending out more information about parking. They are working on a shuttle, and we'll get information to you about that. So for the time being, that's the information that we could think of sharing that we think you're interested in. By all means, as always, email us with questions, and we promise to be in touch again very soon. Enjoy these last couple weeks of summer. Bye-bye.